welcome to yet another program as part of the solo round edition of Beyond the Present podcast. My name is Daniel Mulligan, and today, exactly on Christmas Day, we're having this program here for you for one simple purpose, and that is preparing you for the new year. And what's the best way to prepare yourself for the new year? That's right, by starting to actually go for your New Year's resolution. Now, you might be asking right now, so Daniel, what is exactly a New Year's resolution? I heard I should do this, I should write down my goals or whatever. It seems so boring, it seems so cliche. Let me stop you right now. It might seem cliche or boring right now, but the truth of the matter is that if you want to control the direction of your life, then you have no choice but to actually know where you're going. I mean, if you don't know where you're going, any road can get you there, but ultimately, I really believe that if you want to make the most out of your life, you have to know where you're going. And that all begins with goal setting. Now, let's be honest, goal setting is not a task or a skill that is given to a lot of our students as we're growing up. Let's say in high school and elementary school, we have never been told the importance of goal setting. But the fact of the matter is that the root of all long-term sustainable success is all about goal setting. And today, merely 5 days away from the New Year's Eve, I would like to actually ask you guys to take this whole process seriously. Now, don't worry, maybe you've never done this before. Maybe it's going to be the first time ever that you want to have your first, basically, New Year's resolution, where you want to actually know where you're going, what your goals are, and what are the tasks that you want to achieve in the coming year. But I'm here to help you exactly do that. So how are we going to go about doing this? Very simple. We want to actually understand first why we need a New Year's resolution, and more importantly, how we can make the most of that New Year's resolution. And today, I will actually start first with the why, because they say a man who has a why ultimately can bear any how. Because if you don't know why you're doing it, then what's the point of actually trying to write down your goals and having a New Year's resolution? So the reason that we need to set goals is because those who do not have goals will ultimately end up living their lives reacting to those who do. Those who do not have any goals will end up working for those who have goals, and those who don't have goals in life will eventually succumb to depression, all forms of negativity, and just wonder why life isn't so exciting. Understand this. By having those goals, your life becomes a lot more exciting. Now you have a great source of meaning that can help you to achieve and accomplish a lot more in life. Other than that, people who do have goals generally experience higher levels of happiness and engagement because we as humans find true amounts of pleasure and excitement when it comes to experiencing the sensation called flow. Now, what is flow? Flow is the experience and the state of mind where you are fully engaged with a task, where you somehow find yourself lost in that task, and you can take a lot of pleasure from it, even though you're not even feeling how time is just going by. So if you want to actually make the most of your life, you want to have as much flow experiences as possible, and the best way to have flow experiences is to do things that are meaningful for you, that you feel a sense of progress that you're making towards your ambitions and towards your ultimate ends. And this is where goal setting comes in, because by setting certain goals, and by knowing what the objectives are in your life, you set yourself up for success because now all of a sudden you know exactly where you're headed. And once you know where you're headed, it becomes a lot easier to actually go through the process, deal with all the failures and the setbacks that will inevitably arrive because you now know why you should take this action and why you should get there and what are the objectives that you have in mind. So with that being said, right now ask yourself, why should I set a New Year's resolution for myself? How can I somehow make the year 2019 different than 2018? And to do so, just take a look back at at last year, 2018. So how did you spend your 2018? Do you think they actually got the most out of that experience? Has your life changed in any meaningful way in the past, let's say, 12 months? Do you feel that you have made progress in your career, in your personal life, in your relationships, in any area that is important to you? Let's say your shape or fitness. By taking a look back at what just happened in the past year, you actually set yourself up for knowing how you enjoyed the past 12 months and how you can actually get the most out of the upcoming 12 months, which is the year 2019. By knowing that, now you're basically on the verge of making some very, very important decisions. because the year 2019 is supposed to be better than the year 2018. For anybody who is dedicated to the process of personal development, they want each year to bring with itself new adventures, new learning experiences, a lot of novelty, a lot of progress, and growth in all areas of life. So make a commitment to yourself to make 2019 great. Tell yourself, I'm going to make 2019 my little, you know what, right? You want to make this year the best year of your life. And I believe that if you want to do that, then you have no choice but to actually start setting goals. So let's start with the process of goal setting. And how do you actually go about write your goals to be able to make them realized in the coming year? Now, the New Year's resolution, of course, is quite popular. But at the same time, there's a serious problem with a New Year's resolution. Did you know that most people quit all of their New Year's resolutions by the 15th, that is January 15th of that year, less than 15 days after they have written down their New Year's resolution? That is, all of their goals and ambitions last not even a month. And by January 15th of that year, they have already abandoned almost all of their New Year's resolution. Knowing that, you want to make sure this does not happen to you. So how can you do this? First of all, try to write down goals that are a lot more realistic. Use the SMART goal setting methodology, which helps you a lot in this way. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Let me go through all the elements one by one. So what is S? SMART stands for goals that are specific. That is, you know what they are exactly. For example, I want to be rich. That's not a specific goal, but I want to make, for example, an extra $50,000 in the year 2019. Now, that's specific. M is measurable. How can I measure my progress? You're saying, well, I want to lose weight. Well, losing weight, how can you know if you've lost weight? How can you measure the results? You can say, I want to lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever it is that your target is right now. Now you have something to measure. The other two, which are quite similar, is A, which is achievable, and R, realistic. Let's be honest. If you, for example, have never worked in your whole life and all of a sudden set a goal of becoming a millionaire in the year 2019, well, I'm not saying that's not possible, because everything is possible technically, right? But you're setting yourself up for a lot of frustration. Dude, you haven't made a single dollar in the past, 5-10 years that you've been in school and whatever, and now all of a sudden you want to become a millionaire in 1 year? That's just a little bit unrealistic. So how about setting some goals that you can actually achieve and they seem realistic? I mean, for somebody like you, let's say you haven't had a job in a long time. Just getting a job, from my perspective, is a great progress, right? Or let's say your income at work stands at about $50,000 a year, which is the average in the U.S. right now. How about just trying to increase your income by, let's say, 50% and go for $75,000 this year, right? Now, goals that are realistic become a lot easier to follow. Now, I'm not saying set yourself up for failure by setting extremely high goals, but at the same time, if you sell yourself short and set very small, uninspiring goals, then you won't have the drive and the motivation to achieve them. So balance here is the key. You want to set the kind of goal that excites you, but at the same time, if you're not used to, the process of goal setting, and you've had a lot of goals in the past that you've stopped or just quit on, then please just make it easier for yourself. Set some goals that are more realistic and achievable. And more importantly, above all, it's a T, time-bound. You want to make your goals with a specific deadline. Because people say, I want to do this. When? Anytime people share me their goals, I mean, they know me right now. Anybody who ever tells me about their goals, my automatic answer every single time is one thing. When? When do you want to do this? When do you want to immigrate? When do you want to get this? When do you want to learn that? So I just ask them when, because that thing is the most important element of the SMART goal setting. Because if you know when you're going to do it, then you will take the right actions and you will not waste time or lose motivation. With that being said, the New Year's resolution itself is somehow very special because when you're setting your goals, let's say on a specific, an important day like the New Year's Eve, you somehow make it a lot more memorable because our memory is designed to remember things that are more emotional. And of course, a lot of us, we tend to be a lot more emotional on a New Year's Eve than we are, let's say, on a weekend. So try to use this as a special chance and a great somehow opportunity for yourself to set some great goals for the year 2019, because I really believe that this year could be a lot better. Of course, let's be honest, there will be some problems ahead for all of us around the world. The West is expected to actually experience a serious economic crisis by the end of the year. And this means that by 2020, we're going to have a serious economic crisis in the United States, in Canada, in Europe, and many other nations. So things will definitely get tougher a little bit ahead, but that doesn't mean that you can't make the most of the upcoming year, right? So you want to make 2019 the year where you take the steps necessary to get yourself from where you are today to where you want to go. And if you don't take the actions, then 2019 will be just like 2018 and just like 2017, and nothing will change. And ultimately, that's not the kind of life you want to have. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to my basically comments and ideas about how to make the most of your New Year's resolution. The very fact that you're still listening to me until now, it shows that you're somebody who cares about yourself, you care about your future, and you want to make the most of it. So first of all, congratulations. A lot of us somehow don't reach that level of determination and commitment to make that decision to say, yes, I'm done with this. I want to change my life starting from today. So congratulations. You're already well ahead. You're probably already right now in the top 20% of the society right now. If you're right now still listening to me and you have not tuned out, you are already in the top 20% because you are committed to taking action. But I'm sorry, being the top 20% is very different than being the top 1%. So do you want to be in the top 1% or not? If you do want it, then please take your goal-setting process seriously and make sure that you set the kind of goals for the New Year's that will allow you to actually take whatever you want out of life, because life is too short to just try to set small goals or not have any goals at all, and you will lose that opportunity in the long run. More importantly, we had recently a great discussion with in one of our seminars regarding the concept of whether or not should I share my goals. I've always been a proponent of sharing your goals publicly. Now, let's be honest, I know that takes a lot of courage, especially for those of us who are perhaps a little bit more introverted. So if you happen to be a bit more introverted and you don't like to share a lot of the things about your personal life, then don't worry. You don't have to share your life with absolutely everyone, but you could always find someone, a few friends or close family members whom you really trust and you can share your goals with. Why is that so important? Because the power of accountability has proven to be extremely valuable and useful when it comes to achieving long-term goals. Because unlike short-term goals where you can just exert some effort and get it done, when it comes to long-term goals, it is inevitable that at some point you will lose motivation. And you just say, well, why should I even try? Why bother? I've already tried my best. However, if you have shared that goal with someone else, and by the time you've forgotten the goal or perhaps have lost hope or whatever it is, and that person comes and says, so guess what? What happened to that goal of yours, right? Remember, not long ago, I told one of my friends that I actually want to soon start learning Polish as the next language that I want to master. And he said, wow, that's pretty cool. Polish is a very difficult language. Well, I said, it's actually quite similar to Russian, but, I want to try it. And guess what? Because I was super busy with my other projects, writing on my upcoming book, basically, that I have to write called Polyglot Guidebook, and also learning Mandarin Chinese all at the same time. I just had no time, and I totally forgot my goal until this gentleman came in and said, so Daniel, what happened to that Polish language of yours? Have you started learning Polish? I said, well, actually, I don't have the time now, but I will definitely get started as soon as I can. You see, that's the power of accountability. You share your goals with other people, and even if you forget it, somebody will remind you and somebody will motivate you to get started with your new tasks. With that being said, we're basically approaching the end of the show, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and to follow up with this matter. In advance, I would like to wish you a very, very happy New Year. Of course, this program is going to be live on Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everybody out there, and I want to wish you guys a fantastic and lovely Christmas as well as a New Year, and hopefully this year, 2019, will allow us to be able to make the most out of our lives by setting great goals and achieving them every step of the way. Thank you so much, guys. My name is Daniel Mulligan, and this was Beyond the Present Podcast. Have a good one.